unfortunate New Orleans now 3-0. They beat the Cardinals 31-7. He's had a couple of touchdowns. He did have an interception, but the Cardinals, similar to Tampa Bay, they have a good secondary, but they were no match for Jimmy Graham.
Hey, you know what? Next week, Philadelphia plays at Denver. That's a nice game right there, huh?
Yeah, that's definitely. It will be interesting if Chip Kelly's all this together. That will definitely be a high-scoring game.
It's not the offense; it's the defense.
Yeah,
he's got to get his defense playing defense. Otherwise, they're in trouble. They played defense in that San Diego game in the second half. That's why they kind of were in it.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's definitely an intriguing game.
Good. The Thursday night game is San Francisco at St. Louis. Good. I won't miss anything there.
Oh, speaking of San Francisco, there was a story about one of the players.
Yeah.
Was arrested for DUI. Autumn Smith, Pro Bowl
and he played
lineman.
Yesterday's game, and now he's going to rehab.
Yeah, and they just handled that whole situation wrong. I mean, you know this guy have issues. You know this guy should have just not played that game at all. And he didn't make much of a difference in that game anyway. So that's karma on San Francisco for having him playing just a day after he got arrested at 7 a.m. in the morning for DUI.
Nothing good happens after midnight, bitches.
Yeah. Nothing good happens.
We say that all the time, don't we?
Yeah, you do.
And not only that, he's a freaking NFL football player. You got money, call a freaking cab, you jackass. Unbelievable. How many times
Athletes sometimes they want to take matters into their own hands. And that it works if you don't have a history that he does. He has a history of incident after incident.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get into the Von Miller situation a little bit. Looks like Ray Lewis must have gave Baltimore Ravens a pep talk because they was clicking at all cylinders yesterday as they went on to beat the Houston Texans, and Ed Reed's returned to Baltimore 30-9.
Yeah.
Flacco. And they did this without Ray Rice.
Yeah, my man Flacco. They got to get going, man. They got to get moving.
They're 2-1. You know, they were shaky against Denver. And it was close against Cleveland, but they looked a lot better. And it was without Ray Rice. That just shows that they still got some pieces that can step up.
I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at my screen and I'm just thinking, oh my God, would I not want to be in the New York Giants locker room today? Tom Coughlin was going to go bananas. And
there was a players meeting.
Oh, I'm sure there was, and now he's got to go face. I'm sure there was, and now he's got to go face the 3-0 Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Ay, Guttenhimmel.
Yeah, that's. I don't know. I may go for the upset. I may not.
I have no choice. I have to pick the Giants. I don't have any choice about it. You know that.
I mean, look. If you was not in the pick'em pool, I would agree with you. But if you want to win, sometimes you got to pick against your
opponent. I don't pick against my team. I pick the Giants to win every week. Just like Ebo picks the freaking Cincinnati Bengals to win every week. Just like you pick the New Orleans Saints to win every week.
Yes, I do, but there comes a point when you just got to move. You got to fight. You got to win.
I know, but you just said, yes, I do. So that's the end of it. Because you do. I bet you Gio picks the New York Giants every single week. I can't.
That's fine. That's fine if they win. Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't matter whether they win or lose. You have to pick them every week. I bet you honestly. You go back and listen to all the shows where we did our picks on. You can also see Sean picking the New England Patriots every single week.
Or the Jets and then the Patriots.
When he was a Jet fan.
Yeah.
He's not a Jet fan no more. He hates the Jets.
Because a player that's not even playing anymore.
And he will never play NFL football again. Never. He is done as an NFL player. And I called that a long time ago. He's now going to go on a public speaking tour, and that's what he's going to do. And that's one Tim Tebow.
Another game,
he doesn't deserve to be in the NFL.
Look, he had one good season. Let's just not act like he was all crap. It's just that he Denver quarterback situation wasn't good before Tebow. He came in, they win the division. And look, he's not your conventional quarterback, but he did have that good season.
He's not an NFL quarterback. I said in the very beginning.
And he has a winning record. Okay, he has a winning record as a quarterback.
How many games has he started? 5?
Let's see. He's played like pretty much an entire season. And that was with Denver. He played like a few games of one season, and then he pretty much played almost a whole season last year. So he probably good 14, 15 games.
You want to know something? He's not an NFL quarterback. He's a novelty. You know what a novelty is? He's a novelty.
A novelty is a novelty.
That's what he is.
Look, he did win some games. I will say that. So let's not just do anything. He did something. He did more than some.
Then why isn't there a team out there that wants him?
Well, because
there is a team that's out there that wants him. It's in Russia. we talked about that on the show.
Yeah. There was some arena football teams and rugby team want him. He did decline. Look, if he's gonna be in the NFL, he may have to change positions. I do agree with that.
He doesn't want to. He wants to be an NFL quarterback.
He wants to be a quarterback. Look, he's proven he can win games. It may not be the most conventional way, but he does win games nonetheless.
He's a novelty act. He's not a quarterback.
There may be a team other than Jacksonville that may reach out to him, but maybe to change positions. But
he's a circus act.
He's
I'm going to give you another name.
He's not a bad character. He's
not a bad character.
He's not a bad guy. He's a good human being.
He's a circus act. He's not an NFL football player.
He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't get in trouble with the law. He's not Alden Smith getting busted for DUI.
I understand that, but he's not an NFL quarterback. He's a novelty act, just like Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel's not going to be able to make it in the NFL either.
Well, we'll definitely see when it comes to Manziel. And
I'm calling it way before it happens. Remember this date, 9/23/2013. I said it.
So you really think Johnny Manziel? He's
going to get drafted as a quarterback, and he's not going to make it either. He's a novelty act as well.
Well, the difference between Manziel and Tebow is the personality-wise, and I get it. Not every single college quarterback end up having good NFL seasons.
Oh, he's a novelty act.
Yeah, he's more of a circus than Tebow is.
Well, Tebow's the same kind of a player, only he's left-handed.
I'm just saying character-wise. Character. Tebow, he's a choir boy. And
Johnny Manziel is outgoing.
And he's outgoing. He's crazy. He goes to clubs. He cheers with rappers.
That's why he's never going to be able to be an NFL quarterback, because he'll be at these clubs getting hammered and stuff and miss crap, or he'll get in a shooting, or something's going to happen. He's not going to be an NFL quarterback. He'll get drafted. They'll try it out just like they did with Tim Tebow. It'll happen almost the same way.
Well, he may end up having a better career than Tebow, but I don't know. I don't see him doing much, but you never know. People that Colin Kaepernick wasn't going to do nothing. He had a Super Bowl appearance. People didn't think RG3 and Luck and Wilson and all these young quarterbacks. It's become a trend. You get these young quarterbacks. They're going to be on some spread option. They're going to be wanting more than passing. They've been effective. They win a lot of games. That's what Tebow was, and that's what Manziel's doing in college, and he could do the same thing in NFL. It could happen. I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he's going to get an opportunity just like those guys are, and if things go well, then he may be there long term.
You know what else could happen?
Yeah.
You could happen to win the lotto. It could happen. It could happen, right? But it's a long shot. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, he may end up with he definitely may end up in Jacksonville. It just depends on which team he ends up with. Now, for the other quarterbacks, they fortunate to end up with those teams that they are, and they end up being playoff teams. Now, and he's a sophomore, Manziel is, and he can take a look into these teams that could be on the verge of losing records and say, sure, I'm gonna be a junior. But people are assuming he's going to.
You gotta remember he's young
season.
too. You gotta remember he's young. You gotta remember that. You know. Hey, let's talk about the the game last night, Chicago and Pittsburgh.
Chicago and Pittsburgh. I mean, yeah, 40-23.
How about that, man? Way to go, Chicago.
The Jay Cutler. I mean, he played Steelers. They try to get the game close, but I said last week they look like an old team.
If I remember correctly, all four of us on the line last week picked Chicago to win that game.
Yeah, and I mean Mark Trestman, he's the head coach on that team, and maybe Jay Cutler finally got a head coach.
Yeah, understands him, huh?
And let's not forget that Cutler is in the last year of his contract. He's playing for extra bucks. So I still think he's going to end up with the team long term because you don't have a lot of options, and it don't look like they're going to be ending up like Jacksonville or whatever. So I say they have no other choice but to be stuck with Cutler unless Johnny Manziel luckily gets drafted late or whatever. But he's playing good right now. But he has to play even better. Get to the playoffs. Get that contract extension. As for Pittsburgh, they just don't look like an intimidating team anymore. Ben he looks like a shell of himself right now. Now, he did pretty well with Antonio Brown, had some good catches yesterday. But other than that, the rest of the Steelers, not that much. They just look like a shell of themselves. And I feel bad for Mike Tomlin more than anyone. He's a good coach. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a brother, okay? But they're not getting it done right now. They look like, dare I say, they're going to end up with a top 10 draft pick come next year's draft. That's where they heading.
That's where Pittsburgh's heading, too.
That's what Pittsburgh's heading.
That's where Pittsburgh's heading, man. They're 0-3 just like the crappy-ass Giants are.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But your Giants, I think they're gonna end up better than Pittsburgh. At least with New York, they have better pieces than Pittsburgh has.
I hope so.
Yeah, but Eli, he's gonna shake it off. I mean, you can't avoid him from making.
How about this though? Chicago had total 258 yards, and Pittsburgh had a total of 459 yards. Almost 200, over 200 more yards Pittsburgh had, and they still lost the game. Pittsburgh had 5 turnovers in the game.
Yeah, I mean, as the saying goes, you make too many mistakes, you're not going to win these games, obviously. Before we get into...
Roethlisberger threw 2 interceptions, and if I'm right, he also had 2 fumbles. So he had 4 turnovers himself. Way to go, Roethlisberger. Woohoo! You're just as bad as Eli.
Eli has had so at least Ben got that going for him. But usually when I see Ben avoid the sacks, he finds a way to make a play. He's entering his 10th season.
He's getting old, man.
Father Time's getting caught up with him more than Eli because he's been taking a lot of more hits than Eli has. Eli hasn't even he has not missed a game in his career, in his pro career, I should say. Big Ben, he's had the motorcycle accident. The dude, he gets hurt. He's more injury prone than Eli does.